All right. So the main thing you have to do is get on a wireless network of some kind, so you have the internet. The DEF CON network is fine. If you can also use this local network if the DEF CON network gets saturated, like in the early days of yesterday, it slowed down terribly. So if that happens, use this one. Anyway, once you're on the internet, go to samsclass.info. This is where all my stuff is. And right at the top, you'll see DEF CON training. And there's 4 days and an extra day of machine learning, which we can throw in if there's time. And so we're going to start with attack techniques. The main thing to know is there's a whole bunch of things to do here. These are all projects you can do, and it's a capture the flag contest structure, so each one is worth a certain number of points. And so if you don't know Linux at all, you start with Linux Journey. I don't know how many people are in that condition, but certainly a lot of my students don't know Linux at all. If you don't even know binary, there's some binary things to practice. Then there's some famous challenges where you learn the elements of command line for Linux and Windows. And then comes some simple hacking. These are very simple. The simplest attacks: command injection, SQL injection, and Windows command injection, which are, good to start with because they're very important. They do keep coming up again and again, and they're very easy. So a beginner can easily, and you don't have to install any software to do any of that. Then after that, you need to have some virtual machines. And that's why I said bring a machine that can run virtual machines if you can. It would be best if you can get them running locally on your system. If you can't, we have some cloud machines you can use, which is fine. The only reason I don't recommend that is then you don't have it when you go home. And most people, so you'll need a Linux machine and a Windows machine. You can use Kali if your main focus is pen testing. I quit using Kali years ago. I just used plain Debian. When the cloud appeared, I would just get a plain Debian server, but you can do it anyway. And so these are the recommended machines to make for the pen testing part, which is the first day. Here's alternative things for people who have some reason they can't do the main one. And then there's some networking, scanning projects, some advanced command injection, the typical Metasploit stuff, which is what you'd use Kali for probably, where you practice attacking machines. Metasploit is a attack framework that makes it easy to perform common attacks against known vulnerabilities. And then we have some more ones down here. And so this is the first day. We have all these. We'll cover some of these. And like I say, always zip ahead to whichever one's of interest to you. And then in further days, we'll have many more of these. And so feel free to skip ahead. Like if you don't even care about pen testing, you just want to do like the malware analysis or something, you can go and start on that stuff. The main thing is that you get something good out of this. So the one thing I should mention is how the scoring works. So if you do one of these projects, like you get your Windows machine working, there's a machine you can download here, which is my recommended Windows machine because it has a whole bunch of tools already installed. And so if you download this thing, a 19 gigabyte zip file, which we have on like a portable SSD drive too if the network isn't fast enough, and then there's a flag. Once you do anything, there's a green border, which is where you get your points. There's a flag. There's something, whatever is covered by the green box, that's the flag. And so this one here is PMA 41.1. So you turn in your flag, you go up here to submit flags, and then you get to the right series, and that's 41.1, so you just put in your name and the flag. And this is, you get on the scoreboard, and the scoreboard is useful sort of for the fun of competition, and also in this thing, there's some kind of certificate program that goes with this, where if you attend, you get a certificate of attendance, and they said you can have a test of completion. Well, that's my test of completion. If you get at least 300 points on the CTF, then you've completed. And like I say, there's probably like 6,000 points of projects. You don't need to do them all. Normally, my college classes are about 500 points. So in 4 days, you should pretty easily be able to get that many points if you're doing some of the hands-on projects. And that's what I think the most important thing is. So, all right, so let me stop this video and